All right, I think I have the rest under control. So I've got already a preset game set up. So I'm in commissioner mode so that I can put Babe on the correct team. We are playing with the April 1st lineup. So these were the Major League lineups as of April 1st. Some teams have already played a game already, but Babe pretty much will get a full season in. And we go up to the free agents in the reports and info. And because this is a quick start game, Babe is already in the system. There he is right there. I click on him, and then I go to the editor menu. And I scroll down a little bit. Again, this is his 1927 version. And I select the league, Major League Baseball, and put him on Cleveland. Next week will be a fun week, guys. Next week he goes to Colorado. We're gonna see you guys guessing 80 home runs in Coors Field or Colorado Field or whatever they call it now. Okay, and we want to go and look at Cleveland. So there he is. Once again, the manager has decided to put him in the third batting position against the lefties and the righties. Only one manager has had him hit cleanup, and that was early. That might have been Arizona that had him hitting cleanup. Good to see you, Dr. D. Welcome in. We're just getting started with our Babe in Cleveland Matrix series here, and going to check out how he does right off in game one. Let's go to the schedule. Cleveland, where are you? Are you playing today, Cleveland? There you go. You're playing in Seattle. So you are off in the vicinity of Dr. Dynastic, IBDB, Sea Shockers. All of you can go watch Babe in his debut game with the Cleveland Guardians. Who's calling it today? Is he going to hit a home run in Seattle? I don't think Seattle's a very friendly hitter park. But what do you think? Does the Babe hit a dinger in game one? So he will get up in this first inning because he's hitting third. So we've got Miles Straw going to lead off the game. Weather looks pretty good in Seattle. It's not raining. Logan Gilbert with the pitch, and that's going to drop into left field. One runner on for Stephen Kwan. Kwan drives the ball to shortstop. That is going to be the fielder's choice. And that brings up the Babe. Here he is. He even keeps his shades on for this first at bat. 80 power. 75 power, 80 eye, 80 contact, runner on first. The debut with the Cleveland Guardians. An 0-1 count. Goes into the dirt, and that moves the runner to second base. The count is 1-1. Now it's full. Babe smacks one into center field. That is going to be caught for the out. So Pitchers Park, don't expect too much out of Babe today. Let's go on to the third inning. He might get up. We got the number 9 hitter up here. Zunino, who I think was sent down. Was he? Is he in the minor leagues now? Mike Zunino. Miles Straw back at the plate. 1 for 1 so far. Straw hits one to third base. And he is out on a close play. And Stephen Kwan at the plate. Can he get on base for the Babe? No, he strikes out. Let's go to the fourth inning. Leading off for the Cleveland Guardians, a 0-0 game, 2 hits apiece, no errors. Babe Ruth up against Logan Gilbert, a full count. And again, another hit to center field. Crack of the bat, exact same play as in the first inning. 0 for 2 for the Babe. Let's go to inning 6. Babe will be the fourth guy up if Cleveland can get someone on base. Seattle has a 1-0 lead. Top of 6. 1 away. Straw back at the plate. 2 away. Gilbert with a really good game, only giving up 2 hits. And that will do it for Cleveland in the 6th inning. All right, Babe comes up in the 7th inning, leadoff hitter, 1-0 Seattle, a chance to tie the game. Gilbert still in the game for Seattle, full count for the 3rd time today, and Babe takes it looking. Woo! 2 flyouts to center and a strikeout. Let's go to the 9th inning. It is now 2-0 for Seattle. As we're in the 8th inning, Babe has a chance to get up. If we can get a few hits for Cleveland, that is not one of them. Mike Zunino at the plate, 1 away. Will just get over the second baseman. Zunino on with 1 out. Back to the top of the order, Miles Straw at the plate. 2-0 Seattle, and Straw pops 1 out to right field, 2 away. Babe Ruth is standing on deck. If Kwan can get on, we have a chance for a Ruth go-ahead run. Yes, Kwan does get on. That goes to left field. That puts the runners on 3rd and 2nd. Top of 8, Babe Ruth at the plate. He's 0 for 3. You walk him. You walk him. Matt Brash is in the game. I think I walk him with 2 outs. You got a base open. Kwan's on. Zunino's on. 2-0 Seattle. Let's see what they decide to do. 3-1 count, and they do walk him. One of those intentional, unintentional walks. Jose Ramirez has a chance to break the game open. He slams one into center field. 1 run's coming in. Here comes the 2nd run from 3rd base. That will tie the game as Babe Ruth is standing on 2nd with a go-ahead run. 2-2 Cleveland. 2-2 Cleveland and Seattle. Josh Naylor at the plate. He drives that one into center field. Look at Babe run. He's running. He's running. Come on, Babe. Come on. You can do it. Yes. Babe Ruth with his first run as a Cleveland Guardian and a 3-2 lead. What an inning for the Guardians. Another hit that drops into center field. Here comes the runner from 3rd base. And it is 4-2 Cleveland. Jimenez at the plate. And that will do it for Cleveland in the 8th inning. 4 runs to take a 4-2 lead. Let's go to the 9th. Babe is 0 for 2 with a walk. Here's the number 8 hitter for Cleveland. He goes down watching strike 3. Mike Zunino, 1 for 3 on the day. He strikes out. That will bring us to the top of the order, and Miles Straw. Second baseman handles that pretty easily, and Cleveland goes to the bottom of the 9th. 4-2 lead. Julio Rodriguez up at the plate for Seattle. He will get on with a walk. That's going to bring up Hernandez. 0-1 count. Hernandez smokes one into right field, but what a grab by the Cleveland right fielder. Check that one out again. Oh, behind the back catch. Marcus, if that was you doing the modeling for that, what a catch, Marcus. Class A in the game. Cal Raleigh at the plate. Fielder's choice, runner moves to second, but 2 away for Seattle. They are down to their last hope here. A Suarez home run will tie the game. He's got 60 power, full count, pitch on the way, and he watches it. He goes down swinging. And Babe Ruth in his debut game with the Cleveland Guardians. Goes 0 for 3, 1 run scored, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. Logan Gilbert with the loss, well, on the losing team, but he is player of the game. Goes 7 1/3 inning, 4 hits, 1 earned run. Unfortunately, Mr. Brash comes in and blows the save. All right, there we go. Let's sim ahead to the end of the month. Injuries, again, are on very low, and suspensions are on low as well. We don't want Babe to miss too many games, hopefully. Longest injury he's had so far in this series has been 3 weeks. Again, if you're new and you haven't played the base game, when you sim ahead for a long period of time, you'll see the standings change in the middle of your screen. You'll also see the leaderboard for the AL on the left, the NL on the right. Of course, Babe Ruth is in the AL, third in home runs right now, behind Buxton and Judge. So home run wise, Babe, for the first time, I think, has had a really decent April. Usually he has a slow start. This April has been pretty successful in terms of home runs. Let's check out the April standings here. Where is Cleveland? Leading the division with an 18-10 record. Yeah, I thought this season could be a good one. And for reference, your Oakland A's are 18-11. Enjoy it while you can, Oakland fans. 18-11 in April 2023. How is our star doing? Babe Ruth is on fire. He's got the fire symbol. Hitting .322 with a .475 OBP, a .744 slugging percentage, 10 home runs, 25 RBIs. He's projected to hit 58. Well. Projected to hit 58. Let me go back to my spreadsheet. How many of you are in that 58 range? 13 of you said that Babe would hit between 50 and 59. And two of you said he would hit over 60. So looking good for the month of April so far. All right, let's sim ahead one more month. Yeah, celebrate now, Dr. Dynastic. The A's were 18-11. Look at that. They're 21-12 in this sim. What's going on? And there are no trades in this sim, by the way. Trades have been turned off. So these are the opening day rosters without any trade opportunities. Injuries could happen. Call-ups from the minors could happen. But trades, not so much. Oakland's come back down to earth. They are almost at 500 right now. Tampa leading the East. Toronto hot on their tail. The Braves and the Mets fighting it out in the NL East. And the Chicago Cubs leading the NL Central after May. So we're going to finish off the Babe in the Matrix series. Then we're going to open a few packs. And then we're going to head over and raid into the next streamer. Not sure who's on. I think Dr. Dynastic's on, but we'll check that out a little bit later. Babe is currently hitting 360. Ooh. 489 OBP, 871 slugging, 1.36 OPS, and a 4.6 WAR after 2 months. 2 months, a 4.6 WAR. I think he likes Cleveland. 26 home runs. He is now projected to hit 77. You heard that right. He's projected to hit 77 home runs with 183 RBIs. Yeah. Which two of you projected Babe to hit over 60? That's what I want to know. Because this could be a very short contest. Only 77. Yes. Ooh, Cleveland is good to him. Let's check out his batting stats. How many multiple home run games has he had? He's had a few. 2 against Detroit. Sorry, Punk. 2 against LA Angels. 2 against the White Sox. He hit 2 against St. Louis. And he hit 2 against the Yankees. So he's had several multi-home run games. RBI-wise, he had 6 RBIs and an 8-2 win against St. Louis at home. He had 6 RBIs against Detroit. Sorry, Punk. At home. So he is crushing it. Those of you that were a little conservative today, you got to hope for a Babe Ruth slight injury, I guess. All right, we are going to sim ahead. Well, let's take a look at the leaderboard. How many babes do we see? How many babes do we see on the leaderboard? I'm going off screen for this. Let's make it a little bigger. Only 7. He's leading average. Well, let's go entire league. Let's go combined. Let's humble him a little bit. No, he's still leading all 7. Average home runs. He's 7 ahead of Aaron Judge. He's 5 RBIs ahead of Ramirez. He's leading on base percentage, slugging percentage, WAR. He's leading runs scored, extra base hits, isolated. He's not leading walks though, is he? Who's leading walks? He's not leading stolen bases. Man, we got the meta Babe here, guys. We have the meta Babe Ruth. I want to know, does he have any stolen bases at all? 1 stolen base. Babe Ruth has 1 stolen base to make his season even better, and he hasn't been caught stealing. So he's hitting he's running 1,000, 1 for 1 in stolen base attempts. That's fantastic. If he doesn't get starting spot in the All-Star game, if they give it to Aaron Judge, there's going to be a riot in chat. All right, let's sim ahead to the All-Star game. This is the 1927 Babe Ruth. I'm going to go back to my main screen here. This day in history, 140 years ago, Philadelphia would make 21 errors as Boston would maul the Philadelphia. I don't know what they were back then, maybe the Athletics, 29-4. How do you make 29 errors? Wow. And Iridescent checked the stolen base. He had 7 stolen bases in 1927. Okay. So he's on target for that. You know what? I'm either thinking that they had one hand behind their back as a bet, or they had a real fun night on June 19th while they were in Boston. One of those two things. 21 errors. On this day in 1901, 122 years ago, the one, the only Honus Wagner would become the first 20th century player to steal home twice in a single game. There are Honus Wagner cards in the game. We know we're going to get a meta Honus Wagner, I think, at some point. There you go. First person in the 1900s to steal home twice in one game. Also on this day, 122 years ago, John W. Taylor. Here's a guy I haven't heard of, but now I know him because of this little stat here. Did you know John W. Taylor would start his streak of 187 consecutive complete games? That to me is remarkable. That 187 games in a row, complete games. Now, of course, this is the dead ball era. So that probably translates into what, 4 seasons? 3 or 4 seasons? No, because he'd probably pitch one every 3 games, maybe. So I don't know how many seasons that this went over, but someone do a quick check. If you have the game open, do we have a John Taylor card? Because I can't ever recall John Taylor. This guy should have a stamina of 120. 187 consecutive games. This day, 122 years ago. On this day, June 20th, 1912, a doubleheader in Cincinnati and Pittsburgh's Owen Wilson. You might remember him from The Wedding Crashers and from other popular comedic roles. But Owen Wilson would hit 2 triples in the opener, including one with a man on in the 10th and also in the nightcap. It's his 5th straight game with a triple. He will hit 36 triples in the season, which is a major league record. Someone do a fact check on me. Is it still a major league record? What's the most triples hit in a season? I would imagine that's pretty high. I mean, did Ricky ever break that? Taylor was called Jack. Okay. Taylor was called Jack. No. Maybe check Jack Wilson. Or Jack Taylor. Sorry, Jack Taylor. Do we have a Jack Taylor? He started 31 to 37 games per year. So let's say he starts 35, 70, 140. That's 5 seasons. And thanks, IBDB, it's still 36. Dr. D, that reminds me of that game, I Don't Know Jack. What a great game that was. One of the first kind of computer trivia games that came out there. After Trivia Pursuit, it was I Don't Know Jack. All right, on this day in 1914, as World War I was 8 days away from being declared, I believe World War I started on June 28th, 1914, with the assassination of Franz Ferdinand from Austria-Hungary, the heir to the throne. On this day, the Tigers, sorry Punk, sorry Dishnet, sorry Paul Sporer, the Tigers would lose the services of Ty Cobb when he would break his thumb in a fight. Apparently he had a fight with his butcher's clerk. So he went to go pick up probably his meal, and he gets into a fight with the clerk, probably for either the cut of the steak or the price of it. Who knows? Please, Hollywood, please make a new Ty Cobb movie, like a more historical accurate Ty Cobb movie. The best recent movie was 42 with Jackie Robinson. Please do a Ty Cobb one. And while you're at it, how about another Babe Ruth one? Because John Goodman as Babe Ruth just didn't cut it for me. Roseanne's husband, as good as an actor as he is, just didn't cut it as Babe Ruth. What butcher can afford a clerk? Thanks for the Coleman stats here. So John Coleman, or John Taylor? Don't know what the Attica Online, which one are you referring to here? I guess, not sure. Oh, that's your 1883 losing pitcher. Oh, okay. And the last one for now, before we get back to Babe in the Matrix. On this day in 1914, on this day in 1916, Tilly Walker. We do have a Tilly Walker card. I think it's iron. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's an iron Tilly Walker. He would have hit a home run over the left field wall. The only home run that the Red Sox will hit at Fenway Park in the season. But it's a lone Boston score as the Yankees would win 4-1. However, the more interesting component. So funny that Tilly Walker hits only one home run in Fenway Park that year, and it's this one. But also another streak. Everett Scott is put in as a defensive replacement for Boston, and it would start a string of 1,307 consecutive games, all at shortstop. So here we go in 1916, the beginning of 1,307 consecutive games for Everett Scott, which will be the longest streak until Lou would do it and go to 2,130. Again, I don't know if we have an Everett Scott in the game. Hopefully he's a durable player in the base game because he had a fairly long streak for back in the early 1900s. So there's your mission. What level do we have as Tilly Walker? And do we have an Everett Scott in the game? All right, let's go back to Babe in the Matrix. So again, as Iridescent asked, what season are we using for the Babe? We are using the 1928. As you can see, 60 home runs. And he mentioned 7 stolen bases. Stole 7, caught 5. So that's our fun fact for today as we watch the rest of it. Will he get to 7 stolen bases and will he be caught 5 times? Also 137 walks. Wow, one year he walked 170 times. We are at the All-Star break. Cleveland currently is still first. Oh, they are walking away with it. 61-29. Cleveland put the little check mark by their name because I don't think they're going to lose this lead. Thanks to the Babe. Jimenez, Kwan, Ruth, Ramirez, Naylor, Bell, Rosario, Straw, and Zunino. What a team. Babe Ruth is still on fire. Still on a hot streak at the All-Star break. 37 home runs. He's come down a bit. He's projected for 67 now. So we still have 2 people that projected 60 or more, including Jeff Steele Flex, still in the running, 157 RBI projections and 191 hits. So right now, if these projections are accurate, Jeff, you'd lose out because you had less than that. 7.1 WAR. He's got 2 stolen bases now and has not been caught yet. Babe, the speedster on the base paths. All right, the moment of truth. Does Babe Ruth make the All-Star game? He'll make it, but is he the starter? For the American League, there he is. Jose Ramirez is his teammate, Tim Anderson. Aaron Judge is on in right field. Babe makes the left field spot. Guerrero Jr., Adley, Buxton, Lowe, Jimenez, and Shane Bieber with a 13-1 record. 13-1. He should be a perfect card by now. Yeah, 13-1 for Shane Bieber. All right, well, we gotta check this out. We gotta see how Babe will do, at least in a couple at bats. I think this is the first time he's been voted as starter in the All-Star game. Babe Ruth was 6 walks short of being walked 3 miles in that season. Holy smokes. I couldn't walk 3 miles. All right, the game is underway. Again, we're not going to watch the whole All-Star game. Well, that's a little bit different angle than I'm used to. First pitch of the All-Star game held at Tropicana Field is an out. All right, we're going to go to the bottom of the inning. Babe Ruth scheduled to hit third. And for the American League, the leadoff runner heading over to second base with a sliding double. Tim Anderson at the plate. He strikes out, and Babe Ruth, his first All-Star selection, voted in as starter at the plate. He takes the first pitch and lines it into right field. That is going to drop. The runner hesitated a little bit, so will not score, and Babe Ruth with an All-Star single. All right, let's go ahead to the third. Babe still in the game. Let's see if he gets another at bat here. Deep fly ball. Center fielder doesn't even move. He watches that go out, and that is a solo shot for Brandon Lowe with an all-star home run. Let's take a quick peek at the stat track here. Do we got the yellow? Yeah, there we go. Deep into right center field, right into the pond. Jump in there. Look like a bunch of girls watching that. Jump in there, girls. Go after that baseball. All-star home run by Brandon Lowe. American League with a 1-0 lead off of that home run, and the hits continue. Back to the top of the order. Ramirez at the plate. He will hit into a double play, and that is going to be 2 away for Tim Anderson. Babe Ruth on deck. Anderson lines out to second. Babe Ruth back up. And what did he do there in that at-bat? Didn't quite see that at-bat. Let's see. Babe, what did you do? We missed your at-bat. He walked. So he's got a single and a walk in the All-Star game so far. Let's jump ahead to the 7th. And Babe Ruth has been taken out of the game. So we won't watch any more of the All-Star game. We'll see how it finishes off here. 2-2 as we go to the 7th inning. And the AL will take it 4-3 in 10 innings. Woo, they do go extra innings. Babe Ruth is going to finish with 1 hit, 1 official at-bat, 1 walk, and no stolen bases. Babe did not steal any bases. He was caught stealing. He goes all season so far without getting caught stealing, but he says, you know what? It's the All-Star game. I'm Babe Ruth. I'm going to do what I want. And he gets caught stealing. Hopefully he didn't get injured sliding into second base. Okay, let's sim ahead to the end of July. Brandon pronounces his name like lousy? Oh, really? Brandon Lau? Is that how you pronounce it? Brandon Lau? And I did not even realize there were 2 guys in the game with the same name. Brandon Lau. All right, we are heading to the end of July here. Cleveland. I spoke too soon. The Minnesota Twins are making a huge comeback in the summer and are only a couple games out now of the Central Division. Babe Ruth with 40 home runs. He's projected to hit 61. All right, that's bringing back you 50 to 59 home run players now. Fallen off the pace just a little bit. 97 RBIs, 126 hits, 354 average, and Still only 2 stolen bases. So he's right on the borderline of allowing a lot of you guys back into the contest here. Only one multi-hit game since the last time I let you guys know. 2 home runs, or 1 multi-home run game. 2 home runs against Texas and 3 RBIs against Texas in that same game. So his pace is slowing up. Yes, Cleveland only 2 games up. They've lost their last 5. Babe is now moved down to the 4th. Okay, we've got some active managing going on. Maybe it was a mistake because they moved Babe Ruth down to the cleanup role. And they're starting to lose some games. Well, let's go to September. Head off to September, and while we're doing that, let's do a few more This Day in Baseball history facts. This day in 1978, gotta have a Toronto question in there. Did you know that the Toronto Blue Jays in 1978, 3 games in a row that they lost to a Canadian pitcher on the opposing team? That's got to be extremely rare because there aren't a lot of Canadian baseball players, and to have 3 in a row from 2 different teams, but that's an amazing stat. So Toronto Blue Jays would lose to John Hiller of Detroit. Detroit's getting a lot of love today. Then they would lose to Ferguson Jenkins, Fergie, and then to Reggie Cleveland, both of the Rangers. So, wow, this day in 1978, 3 losses, all to Canadian pitchers. On this day in 1973, so now we're looking, 40, 50 years ago. Wow. Guys, do you feel old? 50 years ago, Bobby Bonds would hit his 22nd leadoff home run, which at that time would break Lou Brock's record for leadoff home runs. And I think we've talked about this before. The current record, I believe, is Rickey Henderson. Can someone look up how many leadoff home runs Rickey Henderson has? Was it like 70? Something tells me it was like in the 70s. And he has quite a healthy lead, I think, in leadoff home runs. But at this point in 1973, Bobby Bonds took the record off of Lou Brock. That power hitter in the leadoff spot. Just like perfect team, right? When your leadoff hitter in the first inning gets a home run, you get those bonus perfect points. 81. Okay, so a little bit more. So that's... Will that ever be broken? I don't think so. 81. Whew. So Bobby Bonds in 1973, the record was 22. On this day in 1984, I'm betting some of you have birthdays. You were born in the 80s. And I had to bring this up because this is still one of the best cards in the game for the lower levels. Dave Kingman would hit his 3rd grand slam of the season in an 8-1 A's victory over Kansas City. Kingman's 14 grand slams are the most among active players at the time. Another fact check. Who currently has the most grand slams? I'm going to guess Barry Bonds, but I don't know. I don't know if they would pitch to him with the bases loaded. They might just walk him and give up 1 run. Someone check out. Is it Hank Aaron? Is it Barry Bonds? Mark McGwire? Who currently has the most grand slams in history? On this day in 1988. Oh, George Springer? Really? Or A-Rod? Or both? A-Rod with 25. So Dave Kingman, great athletic player, had 14, at least at that time. And right now it's A-Rod with 25. Wow. Jeez, 25. That's 100 RBIs right there. In 1988, in a 5-4 triumph over Milwaukee. Boy, the A's and the Tigers are getting a lot of love today. Punk and Dr. D and Alex Hira, your teams are getting a lot of love. Mark McGwire would hit a triple on this day in 1988. However, his next triple would be 11 years later. Talk about Babe Ruth stealing bases. Well, Mark McGwire wasn't known as a guy that hits triples. 11 years between triples for Mark McGwire. What a fun stat. And one Babe stat. After signing Ruth for a vaudeville tour after the 1921 World Series, Edward F. Albee II, adoptive grandfather of the famous playwright, wrote Irish playwright George Bernard Shaw and mentioned Ruth. Shaw's famous response was, "Sorry, never heard of her. Whose baby is Ruth?" So, Babe Ruth, a household name in the Americas, but apparently even many famous people in 1921 had no clue who Babe Ruth was. And here's a bonus one for you. We'll do a couple more. In 1921, Ruth and Helen adopted a daughter. Did you know that he had an adopted daughter, Dorothy, who learned in 1980 that she actually was the biological daughter of Ruth and Juanita Jennings, a woman she knew as a close friend, and with Ruth had many of his affairs. So imagine that. Babe and Helen say, "You're adopted, Dorothy." And 60 years later, she finds out that she actually was Babe Ruth's daughter, just with another woman. So the things that go on that are kept secret for many, many years. And did you know that the New York Yankees had never been to the World Series before getting Babe Ruth from Boston? I did not know that. I always thought they were a great team always. Once they got Babe Ruth, they went to 7 World Series in the 15 years that he was with the team. So almost 50% of the time they went to the World Series, but had not gone to the World Series before getting Babe Ruth. Their first pennant came in 1921, their first championship in 1923, and it was the third of 3 consecutive World Series confrontations with the New York Giants. And hey, Babe being Babe, he and teammate Bob Musial were suspended for 6 weeks in 1922 by Commissioner Mountain Landis. Yeah, controversial. Mountain Landis suspended Musial and Ruth for 6 weeks for participating in a barnstorming tour which violated league rules. So Ruth would miss the first 33 games of the year. Yep, even the Babe suffered suspensions. Not the director of Animal House, but hey, couldn't you see Babe Ruth as the main character in Animal House wearing the toga? No, let's escape that, take that image out of our memory. Don't want to see Babe Ruth in a toga. Although my guess is it was probably pretty common to him during his peak years. He probably saw a toga or two during his years in New York. All right, we are at the end of September. At the end of August. 1 month to go in the season. Thanks again for joining in. Close to 300 of you in the chat here. Say hello if you haven't chatted before. Do a first-time chat. Who's your favorite team? Who's your favorite player? And we will be heading over in about 20 minutes over to Dr. D. We're going to finish this series. We'll take a look at the bounty tournament. We'll open a few packs, and then we'll head over to Dr. D about 15 minutes before the hour. All right. Cleveland, where are you? Tied with Minnesota. The good news is they're in a good position for at least a wild card. But Cleveland blew a 10-game lead at the end of July, allowing Minnesota to catch up. Shameful, Cleveland. Fire your manager. Babe Ruth is back to hitting third in the lineup, and he's on fire. 54 home runs, projected to hit 65. Only two of you pick 60 or more home runs. He is projected to break his personal best, barring any kind of major setback. Real life stats, there it is, 60 home runs in 1927. He hit 54 in 1928 and 59 in 1921. Oh boy, this is going to be close. Playoff berth on the line, 60 home run record on the line. Let's go ahead week by week here. Classic Cleveland falling apart. Well, they're still tied for first. Still tied. Let's go to the next week. Minnesota takes the lead, a 2-game lead, a 3-game lead. Uh-oh. Don't do this to the babe. Do not do this. Come on. 4.5 games out. Within a week, Cleveland falls 4.5 games out. Are they in a wild card position? Yes. Cleveland, do not deny the babe a playoff appearance. All right, let's go ahead one more week and then we'll check. Babe Ruth has 56 home runs on September 12th. 57. Oh, this is going to be close. This will be down to the last week. Here is Babe Ruth on September the 18th. They play Kansas City, Baltimore, Cincinnati, and Detroit. You know what? Playing Cincinnati and Detroit, I think Babe is going to break the record. $12 games left. And the babe is sitting at, he's tired though. 57 home runs. Can he get 3 or more home runs in 10 games? All right, let's go to the next game. Nothing there. Nothing there. September 22nd, he's got 57 home runs. Still sitting at 57. We are now up to September 25th, and he finally hit his 58th home run. Babe has 5 games left. Cincinnati twice, Detroit 3 times. He needs 2 home runs to get the 2 people into the final contest category. Let's check out Cincinnati. Cincinnati is 71-86, and Detroit dead last. Dead last. All right. 5 games to go. Got an off day here. Up against Cincinnati. Cleveland wins 2-0. Babe Ruth hits his 59th home run. 4 games to go. Next game on the 27th, 11-2 win. 11-2. There it is. Babe Ruth with his 60th home run in the 5th inning. He has tied his career best. He heads to Detroit. First game against the Tigers is a 4-3 win. Babe Ruth does not get a home run. 2 games to go. He is at 60. As the game saves, as it auto saves at the end of every month, of course, leave us in suspense. Detroit Tigers, Babe Ruth, record could be broken. A 3-1 victory, and Babe Ruth does not hit a home run, or does he? No. Let's just double check the stats in case I missed it here. He is sitting at 60 home runs with 1 game left. Boy, oh boy. Here we go. A 5-4 loss to Detroit. And Babe Ruth does not get a dinger. There you go. He goes in a little bit of a drought in the last few games there and ends up tying his career best with 60 home runs, 147 RBIs, 191 hits, and 140 runs scored. Wow. Just get these numbers down. I think our winner is pretty much determined, but just want to write these down. 60 home runs, 147 RBIs, hits 191, and runs 140. So I think he's had a few matrix bests so far. Well, let's go to the playoffs here. Let's see how Babe does with Cleveland. He's going up against the Tampa Bay Rays in the wild card series, and Tampa Bay with a 1-0 lead. Cleveland ties it up. Let's check it out. Do they advance? Yes, they do. All right. Cleveland goes up against division rival Minnesota. Toronto against Houston, LA against the Cardinals, and the Padres up against the Braves. Let's check out if they can advance. Can Babe make it to the LCS? Padres with a 2-0 lead. Cleveland and Twins tied at 1. Blue Jays up 2-0. Blue Jays advance. Dodgers advance. Going to a Game 5 with Cleveland. And the Twins will knock out Babe Ruth's hope at a World Series ring as they win Game 5, 12-8. 12-8, a game in Babe Ruth where Babe Ruth goes 2 for 3 with 2 walks. I thought this was the year he could bring home a ring. Not to be. Well, let's see who takes the World Series. Cleveland or Minnesota against Toronto, Dodgers against Atlanta. This is where Toronto usually falls apart. And what do we got? Cleveland sweeps. Atlanta wins in 5 games over the Dodgers. Braves Twins final. First game goes to the Atlanta Braves. Twins tie it up. 2-1 for the Twins. 2-2. We're going to Game 5. Of course, it's a travel day. No, it's not a travel day. They're probably playing in Minnesota right now. 3-2 for the Twins. We're going to a Game 7 where the Atlanta Braves will take Game 7 and win the 2023 World Series. Which synchronicity? TJ Lauerman on tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern with his Atlanta Braves series. Well, the only question we have now is, where is Babe in the leader categories and will he win the MVP? So wait for the game to finish off the playoffs here. And I'm going to sim to the trophy presentations. And just to check, Game 7, 8-6 for the Atlanta Braves. Jimenez would take the Game 7 win. Varland would blow a save and take the loss for Minnesota. So Minnesota scoring early, but then the Braves came back to win it in the final 3 innings. All right, we are going to sim ahead to the award presentation. Let's go and check out our winners here. I think it's a foregone conclusion, but let me just double check. Babe Ruth. 147 RBIs. Yes. And I'm seeing in the chat, he did not win the home run race. Aaron Judge would win the home run race with 61. How dare you, Aaron Judge? He hit a home run on the last game of the season against Kansas City to take the home run. RBIs, Jose Ramirez with 20 more than Ruth. Wow. 20 extra RBIs. Ruth, though, would hit a 350 average, just above Trey Turner. On base percentage, batting WAR 10.8, OPS, and of course the hitting categories at the bottom, he would dominate too. And hey, how was he in stolen bases? I missed that. Babe, did you get more than 2? 2 stolen bases, caught 1 time. Babe, you almost went perfect there. Our trophy presentations for the 2023 season. Starting in the National League, your award winners. Your MVP, Juan Soto. 289 average, 7.8 WAR with 41 home runs. Justin Verlander would go 22-4. Yeah, that deserves Cy Young. 40-year-old Justin Verlander wins the Cy Young this year. Tovar with Colorado is your Rookie of the Year, hitting .316. And Josh Hader, Reliever of the Year, chipping in with 37 saves. In the American League, there it is. Babe Ruth takes your American League MVP, and he should. 10.8 WAR, 350 average, 1.225 OPS. George Kirby from the Seattle Mariners is your Cy Young winner, which shocks me a little bit. He went 10-10 on the season, but I guess his 2.46 ERA and 1.03 WHIP was good enough to win the Cy Young. Yoshida, Rookie of the Year for the Boston Red Sox. It's a very Felix Hernandez vote, absolutely. And Johan Duran with 53 saves to lead the league. Wow. There should be your Cy Young winner. 53 saves in 69 games. That's amazing. Only gave up 5 home runs and 25 walks in 71 innings. Safe Go Juice Stats. Well, Babe Ruth does make it as your MVP. We didn't need that as a tiebreaker. So Jeff Steele Flex. Once again, just I got your Twitch name here, I think. Let me just double check it. Your perfect team name. I will send it to that account. Mr. Kill Myself will get those packs. 10 packs for Jeff Steele Flex for being correct in home runs and being correct in RBIs. It's a good thing it didn't go to hits. Well, it's a good thing for Jeff Steele Flex because he would have lost. No, he would have won that. No, they both would have lost that category. So it would have went to runs, which they both guessed the same. MVP, they both guessed the same. And the first tiebreaker, how many walks would Babe Ruth have? Would have went to... What did Babe end up with walks? 135? And... So there you go. Perfect packs on the market until Thursday. I believe then they'll be taken off. Thank you so much for hanging in with me today on a Tuesday. Hope your Tuesday is going well. Hope your leagues are going well. Your tournaments are going well. Thank you to those that followed today. Those of you that subscribed today or yesterday means so much. I couldn't do this without your support. In fact, I wouldn't do this without your support because I'm not the type of person that would stream to one person. My wife would say, Lap, what are you doing? There's one person watching you. Go mow the lawn. That's exactly what my wife would say. So thank you guys for continuing to watch, continuing to support. And D King, say it with me. It's a great day for baseball. Not here, it's raining. But everywhere else, it's probably a great day for baseball. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to others. Speaking of mowing lawns, go donate to a food bank. Go contribute to the OOTP charity that they've got going on and win yourself some signed memorabilia from current or former MLB stars. And don't go anywhere. Let's go check out what Dr. D's got going up with his stream today. Thank you guys so much. This has been episode number 106, where Babe Ruth tied his home run record of 60. But you know what? Next week, he goes to Colorado. Could be something broken there. Have a wonderful day. Thursday Hawk Report. TJ Lauerman tonight. So many good streamers coming up today and tomorrow. See you next episode.